Hello, my name is Adriel, and I am here articulating some thoughts about conscious dance once again. And if you're not familiar with what conscious dance is, it is basically a movement practice that uses dance as a form of moving meditation. And it's very interesting, and it's not too popular at the moment, but these videos are just promoting the idea and talking about different things relating to that practice. So today, the theme or idea that I'm going to explore is ancient amnesia. And I was exposed to this idea initially through a gentleman named Graham Hancock. He's an author out of England, and he coined the term human race is a the human race is a species with amnesia. And when I first heard him say that, my mind started. I was like, whoa, there's something serious there about that phrase. And I just kind of investigated some more over time. And it was, just kind of grew over the years and got more and more knowledge. And when it came to conscious dance, I'm like, wow, this is, it kind of came, that phrase led me to conscious dance in a way. And let me explain how. So, humans is a race of species amnesia. And I just think in modern day society, I've been so influenced by the stream of information I've been fed. In my education, in my education as a young child, I went through the schooling system and went to school and high school and university. And when I got to university, I realized that I was fed a very specific stream of information and was told this is what's true, and anything outside this education system is just theory, just a bunch of stuff that people think and believe, but it's not really true. So I was very influenced to believe that anything coming out of the education system was the facts. And when I realized this, I'm like, that's interesting. There's this internet thing that's kind of growing, and there's a plethora of information, and people have different opinions on that thing. So I'm just gonna kind of explore that for a little bit. And as I did that, I got more and more open-minded to different things, and I eventually came across this very interesting definition of education. So the word education comes from the Latin word idoku, and the literal translation of idoku is to draw out. So essentially, when someone is educating another person, they're drawing out information that that individual already knows but just kind of forgot. I was like, "Pooh! Wow, that's what Graham Hancock was saying. Like we're a species with amnesia, and then essentially we're just kind of relearning everything that we just kind of forgot." And there's all these religious and philosophical notions of the universe or the God spirit is within us. That's essentially what soul is. It's like that connection with God. So if we just connect with that, then we have access to all the information that's available. So I was like, whoa, okay. So I kind of sat with that a little bit, and then just kind of continued on with my life. And I knew like music was a very big part of it, and I was going to do something big with music someday. It was just music was just so magical and made me feel this amazing feeling that I couldn't get away from I couldn't get from anywhere else. And what I realized what it was, music helped me feel connected to something. And I remember I met up with a high school friend I hadn't met in years, and like he was this really huge proponent. He gave me a lot of really cool music, and that was his thing. He was in the music scene, and he was just constantly finding out new bands. And I remember him being in a bar, and I met him like 7 years later, and he was like, "Yeah, man, like I'm a writer, I'm an editor for this music magazine, and like I just love music. It's like it's always there for you, like no matter what, it won't let you down." And like I just resonated when he said that. Like that's so true. It just music is this elemental thing that instantly gets people to feel connected to something. And later down the road, just explore music, and then that's when I came across conscious dance. And I think in a lot of ways, in terms of humans being a race of species with amnesia, like we forgot the connection that we could feel through the power of dance. And I think a big part of this is again with this like education system. Like if you look in the history books, there's like the Dark Ages where the Christians had a lot of power and they went to different places in the world, and just kind of pretty much caused a holocaust and just decimated all these cultures that had their own way of believing, their own way of living, and just said, okay, that's garbage. We don't agree with that. This is the new truth that you're going to believe. And if you don't, then, well, you're going to get crucified, burned at the stake, or whatever, what have you. And I think throughout the course of time, humans were influenced to forget about that connection to music, connection to a universal source or God, or spirit. And I think dance is one of the primary ways of gaining that access, and that's kind of been lost throughout the course of time. Um, so I mean, I could say it all I want and I could explain it all I want, but at the end of the day, the only way to really understand it is to experience it. And I know that there's a lot of fear, and I think a lot of that fear comes from just like a genetic disposition that's been passed down over the years. Because if you were seen dancing at one point, then these Christians are going to come along and crucify you if you were seen dancing. So that's my personal theory. That's my personal belief, and that may not be true, but that's what makes sense to me. That's why a lot of people just have this inherent fear of being seen on the dance floor. And yeah, so I would challenge you to face your fears and get on the dance floor and just experiment with these conscious dance events that take place all over the place. If you just type in ecstatic dance or five rhythms or core connection, or just put in conscious dance in Google, you'll be able to find one in your local area. If not, just reach out and I'll help you find something that will resonate with what you're looking for. And yeah, so that's all I got to share about the theme for today. Moving on to where I'm dancing this week. I'm doing a triple whammy back to back to back. So Friday night I'll be at W&M Studio dancing Kylee Dawn's event from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then the next evening there is the Constellations event, which is a winter solstice celebration taking place out in Bragg Creek area. There's a nice lodge with a few cabins. I'm going to have a lot of music throughout the night and some yoga, and there'll be another space for singing bowls, and it's just a nice community gathering. There is a ticket requirement for that, so we'll post a link for that for sure. And also, I'll be dancing on Sunday morning at Ruth Levin's event, the Occupy Your Body. And I think if you do have a fear of dancing, this is what, in my experience, in all the conscious dance events I've been to, this is the one that would help anyone who has an inherent fear or some kind of insecurity of being seen. The class is designed to get an individual to get the focus out of their mind, out of their thinking mind, and into feeling their body. And I think essentially that's the whole crux of dancing, is just feeling into the body and doing what feels good. And that allows presence to be brought in and awareness to increase. So, and also one last thing I want to mention is I have going to continue selling the sacred geometry work. This is the next piece that will be going on auction later this week. It's a 12-petal Taurus that I was inspired to draw after seeing some photos of a friend go to India and study yoga. So this is the piece that's going to be on sale, and I will put it in a frame and put pictures up and all the details later on Instagram and Facebook. So thank you very much for listening and tuning in. I hope to see you at the dance floor some point this weekend, and if not, Inshallah.